out the power of 3. I lowered my A1C, CV risk, and lost some weight.
Adults lost up to 14 pounds.
I lost some weight.
Ozempic Chew, the new face of Pokemon. You can have it all with the new Ozempic Chew playsets. Master the art of losing weight, not digesting your food. I mean, why was this necessary? Like, I get what they're going for. They're going for the whole, like, Pokemon YouTube channel logo type thing. Like, the little icon they use of Pikachu's head, that's what they're trying to, like, change it to. But why? Why was that necessary? This is just coming from leaks, so it's not, like, 100% confirmed or anything, but I don't like it. It's kind of creepy, actually. Like, the longer I look at it, the more freaky it looks. It's almost like they made him look like a Labubu or something. There's just something uncanny and just odd. It looks like his head is a skull, and his eyes are now just like empty sockets because they're so big. I don't know, it just freaks me out. I don't like it. There's also this Charizard one that leaked. I don't actually hate this one as much. I think it's a good thing to get new models, you know, but like, I don't know if it was entirely necessary, but I actually don't hate this one. You can see it's mostly changed in the eyes. That's like the biggest change, but also his forehead is a little bit more pronounced. And his like snout, his like mouth shape looks a little bit more like sharper, a little bit more like thinned out. And his body overall is like slightly thinner, I'd say. But this one, I actually don't mind. It feels a little bit more grounded. The one with the more anime, like big eyes, I never really felt like that truly matched like the anime or the movies or anything like that. Now, I don't think this one on the right does perfectly either, but this one, I can give a pass. This one's fine. That Pikachu, though, that guy, he needs to go to therapy. And when it comes to this Pikachu redesign, people will literally say to your face that this is a good thing because the design was actually somehow bad the entire time. Like, wow, the mascot for the biggest intellectual property on the planet was actually terrible this entire time. Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize. You're so smart. You're so right. It was just bad, and this redesign certainly needed to happen. So, these Pokemon leaks, I'm a little bit late to the party when it comes to talking about them, but that doesn't mean I can't give my input, right? I mean, these games are still years away, or at least a year away. Generation 10 of Pokemon is actually slated to release in the second half of 2026. So we still got plenty of time to yap about these things. One of the first things I will say, though, about these leaks is it's very concerning regarding the amount of games that all their development teams are actively working on simultaneously. I mean, Pokemon games have always been worked on simultaneously, but it was more so the spin-offs and then the main game. Here, we actually see that Generations 10 and Generations 11 are being developed side by side. We don't have a lot of details on Gen 11 yet, probably because there's not many details there to begin with, but they are being developed. Generation 11 is being worked on right now, which sort of leads me to question, like, why are they going for a quantity over quality approach? Now, the easy answer is just money, because regardless of how good a game is, if you just slap the Pokemon name on it, it's going to print money. But I mean, are they not aware that this is going to affect their legacy over time? Are they not aware that this is going to have diminishing returns? You already see it right now with Legends ZA, but I think it's going to get worse. And it's going to get harder and harder to ignore us, the people who actually criticize and want to hold them accountable. A lot of people would have you believe that it's just a very vocal minority. And while we probably are the minority in terms of the broader Pokemon audience, when it comes to whether or not you're going to buy the newest game or not, minority or not, any amount of people not buying the video game results in less revenue. To illustrate my point, I want to look at this post that I saw on Twitter. Now, no hate to this person, but they say there's never been a better console for Pokemon games than Switch. Prove me wrong. Okay, that's incredibly easy. The Nintendo DS. You want to talk about the best console for Pokemon games? Well, get ready for this. So the Nintendo DS can not only play DS games, of course, but it can play Game Boy Advance games as well. So let's start off with those. You have Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, Pokemon Emerald, and then you have the spin-offs, Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team, and then you have Blue Rescue Team on the DS. And going into those, we have Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Pokemon Black and White, Pokemon Black and White 2, Pokemon Dash, Pokemon Trozy, Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia, Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs, and Pokemon Conquest. That's just what you can play on the DS. You could also make an argument for the Game Boy Advance, being able to play the original Game Boy games and also the whole Game Boy Advance lineup. But I would say that the Nintendo DS is hands down the best console for playing Pokemon games, period. End of story. And speaking of consoles to play Pokemon games on, Generation 10, according to these leaks, is going to be exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2, which, if you have any interest in the series, is very, very good news to you, because that means that they are not going to be held back by 2014 hardware that was already outdated when it released. So thank goodness for that. Now, there are multiple games to go over, like I said, with these leaks. It does have me concerned regarding quantity over quality, because one of these projects interests me more than the others, and it gives me maybe like the slightest little ember, little kindling of hope, little something there. So, well, let's go over them in order. So, the Generation 10 overview, codename Gaia, 2 versions K and N. It'll have multiple islands with distinct environments, progression achieved by exploring said islands, unique Pokemon adapted to each island, legendary Pokemon significantly shaping each island's environment, and it's inspired by Indonesia and Southeast Asia. And we have a little bit of information about the box legendaries themselves. The Storm Legendary lives alone on a remote, storm-swept island, said to possess the power of the wind. It guides humans and Pokemon alike toward the right path, but only accepts those who have properly nurtured a certain seed Pokemon. The Wave Legendary resides on an island untouched by humankind. Using the calm yet powerful force of the ocean, it also guides lost souls towards balance and understanding. Like its counterpart, it acknowledges only those trainers who have shown kindness and care in raising their seed Pokemon. And then we have info on the seed Pokemon itself. So at the heart of the story lies a unique seed Pokemon, a small, baby-like creature that players encounter at the beginning of their adventure, in a sunny coastal resort area. Though it is considered rare, it is not mythical. Locals claim to see it occasionally, yet no one has ever witnessed its evolution. Legends say that this Pokemon begins to only evolve when brought to the islands where the Storm and Wave legendaries dwell. Its evolution is described as having infinite possible forms, each shaped by how players train, bond with, and nurture it throughout their journey. Gameplay-wise, the seed Pokemon serves as a key to progression. Players must raise it to a certain level to unlock access to the island where the main legendary Pokemon resides. The island itself is procedurally generated, its environment changing based on how developed and emotionally bonded the seed Pokemon is. Now, this is really interesting because if this seed Pokemon is tied to your progress, does it take up a party slot? Because if so, that would be a big shame, because now you have only 5 slots to mess around with, and it would lead to a lot less diversity in your team setup. But that said, it says the evolution of the seed Pokemon is also procedurally generated, featuring unique floral and fractal patterns, meaning every player's final form will be completely unique. So does that include typing? Will it not have a type? Maybe that's how you get your team diversity, is that you have the most diverse Pokemon, because it can be anything. And this system ties directly into the game's overarching themes of growth, harmony, and the balance between humanity and nature, reinforcing the emotional and personal connection at the heart of Pokemon Wind and Wave. And of course, yeah, it says here that it'll be released the second half of 2026. So here we go with another gimmick that isn't Pokemon. You have a Pokemon that isn't a Pokemon that can be anything. I mean, how do you even go about having a dex entry for that thing? Will the dex entry just be like a doodle bear that's like blank and anyone can draw on it? You guys remember those? They should also give you like a Smeargle companion that you can just like grab his tail and just doodle all over this guy with. So the next game that we have in these leaks is Pokemon Legends 3 Galar. So this one, I'm not gonna lie, this one bores me to tears. It just sounds like another Pokemon Arceus. You know, it's like set in 1,000 years before the modern era, before Pokeballs were even invented. And basically the gist of it is that you use Pokemon you like befriend them and then you use them in a group to attack Dynamax Pokemon, essentially. You know, it kind of sounds like Pikmin or something, like you're guiding your little team to just like attack the bigger guy. I don't know. I just, this doesn't really, I'm sure people will have fun with it, but me personally, this just sounds extremely, I don't want to overuse the word gimmicky, but this doesn't sound fun to me. Like, I don't like going back in time. You know, I'm already annoyed of that with the whole paradox things. Like, I have a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to that. I know a lot of people liked Pokemon Arceus. I don't know how. I'm so sorry. I can see the vision. I can see the vision when it comes to Pokemon Arceus, but that game, like looking at that game makes me feel sick. Like, I just hate how washed out and just terrible it looks. I know. I always say I don't care about graphics. I want the game, but I mean, like, look at it. It's just so ugly. I'm sorry. But some positivity here. This is something I'm interested in. Now they're gonna fuck it up, but I want to be excited for just a second. Am I allowed to be excited for a moment? GameFreak, is that okay with you? So we have a multi-region online remake, Project Seed, which is interesting because you have the other thing with the Seed Pokemon, but this is its own thing. Project Seed is a multi-region online remake. Codenamed Seed, this ambitious project is being developed by GameFreak's Experimental Development Division as a next-generation online Pokemon game prototype. Okay, pretty interesting, right? Like, so we have an experimental team. Okay, I'm on board with that. And they're going to make an online Pokemon game. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So I would think that, like, okay, an online game would probably simplify the Pokemon formula to a point where it's very easy to MMOify it, especially if you have all these projects going on simultaneously. Now I'm actually hoping that they don't have enough resources to start putting in all this extra crap. I hope that they're limited to just making a good, simple game, turn-based, you know, RPG that is also online. That's fantastic. Now, I feel like a game like this would probably get updates. So I guess we'd see, but like, out of all these projects, this is the one that would potentially make me buy a Nintendo Switch 2. I don't own a Nintendo Switch 2. I don't have a reason to, but this would make me consider it. So it's set in a massive interconnected world that bridges Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, and Kitakami. Project Seed aims to fulfill a long-standing fan dream, a multi-region Pokemon game where players can freely travel across regions and explore them seamlessly. The game's concept emphasizes online multiplayer exploration, allowing multiple players to coexist and interact in real time within a living, shared Pokemon world. Players will traverse expansive landscapes inspired by the real geography of Japan, from Hoenn's southern seas to Sinnoh's northern mountains, connected through a vast new region that ties them together. Wait, so it's a region that combines all the regions? But I always thought that like the Pokemon regions were like separated by like ocean. Am I wrong? Described as a prototype for a next generation online Pokemon experience, Project Seed could represent the franchise's first true step toward an MMO-style evolution, combining exploration, social interaction, and open-world freedom across multiple regions. So this is super interesting to me because if they nail this, this could be the next thing. Judging from all of this, now of course these are all leaks, these are all subject to change, but it kind of seems like, for better or worse, Game Freak is just throwing a bunch of darts at a board and hoping that one hits a bullseye. I'm sure that they expect all these games to sell to an extent to where they at least make their money back. I don't necessarily believe that they think all of these games are going to be complete hits, you know, complete absolute runaway successes. I really think that because it seems like they're trying to put their eggs in multiple baskets, and that could either pay off and be what brings Pokemon back to life, or it could be more of the same. It could be more of just the absolute slop that we've been getting. Now, there's a little bit of a silver lining with all this because It seems like all these games are going to be developed exclusively for the Nintendo Switch 2, which means even with the smaller budgets, you know, smaller than they should be, at least these games are going to have a little bit of a spike in quality just because of the fact that the hardware is going to be able to actually implement the ideas that they have. So while I'm not completely sold yet, I have a feeling that maybe one of these games will bring the series back to life. I don't expect that to happen, but I think there's a chance. What do you guys think though? Does one of these projects stand out to you between Generation 10, the Project Ringo that's set in the past, Pokemon Legends 3, Project Seed, the MMO game, or Generation 11, which we know nothing about? Let me know in the comments. Also, thank you so much for all of the subs. I can't even keep up with it. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the comments, positive or negative. You guys are all helping me, and this is a dream come true. I was beside myself. I was like freaking out. Like, I mean, I guess it makes sense with the timing because a lot of people are talking about Pokemon, but wow, I am so thankful and I'm so just pleasantly surprised. Thank you all so much for just everything. We can only go up from here. I have a lot more planned. I have a lot of things I want to talk about and things I want to do. I want to start streaming as well at some point. But yeah, so thank you for subscribing and taking this journey with me. I really appreciate it. I'm Goobles. Thank you for watching. I need to think of like a custom sign off. I'll have to think about that. Stay tuned. There's never been a better console for Pokemon games than Switch. Prove me wrong. Okay, you got Pokemon Let's Go. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Pokemon Sword and Shield with a DLC. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Poop. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with the other DLC thing. Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm sorry. Pokemon Legends ZA. I am not sorry. Pokemon Tournament. You're good. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. You're good. New Pokemon Snap. You're good. Detective Pikachu returns. Die!
I lost some weight.